So Luke starts school on Wednesday. You guys want to feel like really old? Because I feel old with this. Luke will be a junior in high school.
What?
How crazy is that? I know, it's nuts. It goes by fast. But I do have a word of warning. Actually, Mike and I both are going to talk about this right now because of when does Cecily start school?
Next Tuesday.
Okay, so she's got a full week, and you guys are smart, by the way, for getting out and doing your back-to-school shopping. So Chelsea and actually, Chelsea took Luke out back-to-school shopping, and I got the panicked phone call from Chelsea that even though a majority of the schools within our Detroit area here don't start for like a couple of weeks, Target's already sold out of a whole bunch of back-to-school stuff.
Is it really?
It's crazy. She could not find backpacks yesterday. That was like the hardest thing to find. And Luke told me that he had the worst pick of the spiral notebook colors.
That's a big deal, by the way.
Yeah. It's a big deal. Like there was no how you have like your notebooks and stuff like that, and you have like each color for a different class and stuff.
Did he get all of the yellows?
I think he got, honestly, I know this is going to sound really bad. I think he got a lot of the maroon. Yeah. He goes, it's like plum. Mom called it plum color or something like that. But yeah, I think he did get a yellow too. But let me tell you real quick about the backpack story, because Mike's got a funny story with this backpack story too. So could not find a backpack at Target. All right, was panicking about trying to find a backpack because Luke has been using the same backpack for like the last 2 years, and his backpack had a hole in it to the point that his books were literally falling out as he was walking.
It was time.
So went to like 3 Targets, could not find it. Went to Dick's Sporting Goods, which we have kind of a bad Dick's. We got bad Dick by us, I tell you. And the Dick's by us, our house, is one of those ones. I call it they send all the bad stuff over to them, like all the crappy stuff. It's the one off of Telegraph Road in Bloomfield Hills. It's not like the Novi location, which has got like 2 levels and it's gorgeous. They even got boats in there and stuff. And I mean, they got everything.
This is the small Dick.
Isn't that appropriate?
Yeah.
Where I live, that's where I get them.
You have a little penis.
Well, so that one had like nothing. It was awful. So I ended up doing the bougie thing. And I know this is going to sound way too expensive, but I figured he's got 2 more years left of high school. He better have this for 2 more years. I went to the Lululemon. Is that how you pronounce it?
Did you?
The Lululemon.
They have backpacks there?
They have backpacks. And the reason I went there was Chelsea and I recently were at the mall and went into the Lululemon, and I saw them and I go, wow, they look really cool. And I wanted one for myself.
Yeah.
And it was almost to a point where I was thinking to myself, well, it's either that or I'm going to that Toomey store in the mall that has.
Gosh, you would pay.
I know.
Isn't that super expensive?
I spent you think that the Toomey store is expensive? I think I paid $120 for a freaking backpack.
Oh, he better have that for the rest of his life.
I told him, I said, this is part of your inheritance. We're giving you this. But it was crazy. And I don't understand what the story is with what. Hold on. John, are you there, John?
Yes.
Where are you calling from, John?
Well, I work at I'm the manager at Office Max in Clinton Township on Gratiot, and we are just filled with backpacks, notebooks, pencils, and everything.
Good to know.
You know, I always forget the Office Max and Staples and all this. I always end up, it's like I do the Target run all the time, but I love going into places like Office Max.
And we're right next to a Target in Clinton, so we get a lot of their runoff business anyway.
Listen, show you how much I love Office Max. Look what I've got here today.
The good, fresh Sharpies.
New fresh Sharpies.
There is nothing like a fresh, pointy Sharpie.
John,
That's right.
John, do you have a wide variety of Sharpie colors with the fresh point on them?
We have all the colors, the different points, fat, skinny,
the fine
everything.
point.
John,
now, what about your colors of spiral notebooks?
Yes.
Very important question.
Every color you can imagine.
Okay.
Oh, John, I need to come in to see you over on the east side. But I also, by the way, this is my other question. Do you ever do this when you're running through the store? I go through Office Max, and I'll go through like shopping for my kids for back to school stuff. And for some reason, I want to buy a cash register because they've got a cash register. Like, don't you guys sell like cash registers and like other?
Oddly enough, we just stopped selling cash registers.
Are you serious? There weren't enough people like me that would. I said to Chelsea, I go, I want a cash register. And she goes, why? And I go, because when I was a kid, I had a play school cash register.
Oh yeah.
Because I always thought that that would be the fun thing. I wanted my entire grocery store. But all right, I'm gonna come see you. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. What's going on, Donnie? It's Mojo in the morning.
Good morning. Hey, I was just wondering if you took Lucy to go to get a new backpack yet.
Oh,
that's right.
That's right. I owe her the.
Well, so I feel like you owe me an apology because you poo-pooed on the fact that I bought a backpack when they were on sale a couple of months ago.
I know.
And now, who's the smart one? Say it.
He owes you Starbucks now, Shannon.
He totally does.
I am sorry.
And by the way, she loves her new backpack.
I apologize.
Thank you.
Dickhead.
Yeah.
Small
dickhead.
Yes. You know what? I'm going to take her to.
Really good memory, Donnie, by the way.
I'm not getting her a Lululemon one, though. They're too expensive. I'll get her one from Office Max. I'll go visit our last caller there. So thank you. Mike, speaking of backpacks, listen to this story, and I want people to weigh in on this.
So we went to Walmart, which, by the way, Walmart does have a lot of backpacks too. They don't have a lot of school supplies left, but there are a lot of backpacks. And so we went and got our school supplies or whatever, and then took Cecily into the backpack aisle, and she did not want a backpack. Like, did not want one. Yeah.
Didn't want one at all, or didn't want a different one than the one she has?
Yeah, she has a unicorn one right now from last year. She's like, I like that one. I don't need it. Yeah. And
she doesn't want a new one? She doesn't want to get new, fresh stuff?
That's what I said. I said, you don't want a new backpack? And she's like, no, I have one already. And I said, yeah. But that was last year's backpack. We need a new one for this year. And she was just dead set. Nah, I like my old one. So I sat in the backpack aisle with her and walked through backpacks. And I was like, well, look at this one. I mean, and we walked through probably 6 backpacks before she finally just said, fine, I'll take a new backpack. And I got her a new backpack.
Well, she loves unicorns, though, doesn't she?
Oh, yeah. Loves them, yeah.
And I don't know how you were as a kid, Mike, but when I was a kid, I never got to really get a lot of good stuff. Like, you know what I mean? Like, my parents never really spoiled me that much. But now that I'm an adult and I make my own money, I want my kids to get everything I didn't have. And when your kid doesn't want it, it's like, what?
Yeah. And, like, that's, same, exact same. But that was the biggest thing. There was always something that you wanted every single year. And when it's a new school year, you have to get new stuff. Like, that's the whole exciting thing of back to school shopping, right? Mm-hmm. Like, that's the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Was Lucy Lucy wants new stuff, right? Like, she wanted new backpacks, new all that stuff.
She got the new backpack. Well, so what's weird this year, and I think I did it last year too, if I remember correctly, is her school has this thing now where you can just go on this website. It's called like School Toolbox or something. And you like type in her school, type in her grade, and it's everything that her teachers put on there for her grade level. And you click buy, and it sends every single school supply to your house. So we didn't even go shopping for school supplies.
Really?
I just got a box of all the stuff that she needed.
That doesn't sound like fun at all.
It's no fun, but it's way easier.
No, that's not the fun of it, though.
I know. So I'm going to take her to get like a few rando things. Okay, so here's the thing I loved. Well, one, the biggest box of Crayola crayons that my mother would let me buy, which usually, like back in the day, was like the 96 pack, and it had the sharpener in the back, and I thought I was so cool. Yeah. And I was a huge nerd, and I loved getting a new Trapper Keeper.
Oh, yeah.
Every year. The zip-around kind.
Oh,
had
really?
To have the zipper.
Wait, you didn't have
the
Velcro?
I liked the zip-around. No. I loved that.
The sound?
And I used to always beg my mom, once I got a little older, and do you remember in middle school you had to cover your books?
Yes.
Do you remember that? You had to have book covers.
Oh, yeah.
So I would beg my mom for like the cool book covers or like the sticky book covers, and she would always say no, and I just had to decorate brown paper bags from Meyer. It was always a no. She was like, you can use the bags. Yeah, and then they would rip and you'd have to make new ones.
Do you know what's interesting is that you were talking about, how you guys do the shopping. When you're a kid, shopping in a store is like the greatest thing ever, even to the point that, remember the school store used to have you'd go get book day or whatever, and you'd go buy books and things. Mm-hmm. Like, did you guys have a school store or like book day, like where you got the
book
to order
fair?
Book? Yeah, book fair.
I lived for the book fair.
Like, how could they stop doing taking your kids to go back to school shopping thing?
Yeah,
that's like part of the 2020s that isn't as fun.
Yeah.
They make
Well,
things
it
too
makes
convenient
it way
for
easier
parents.
for parents, but like you said, I loved school supply shopping day.
We even went down you guys. We even went down the shoe aisle, and I'm like, all right, this is it. Like, okay, she didn't want a backpack, fine, no big deal.
Yeah.
Like this was my thing. Like shoes, I wanted a new pair of Jordan. I never got them. New pair of Jordan 13s. I'll tell you the exact ones. Jordan 13s and Penny Hardaways that zipped up over the laces. They were the coolest shoes in the world. Never got them. I got and ones in Converse instead.
Yeah.
I got the really close to it. It might be, but it's not. And so we go down the shoe aisle, and she's like, I got shoes already.
Oh
And I
my
said,
gosh, this little girl.
Mike, what
You
kid?
have-
Who is this kid?
Yeah.
I mean, part of me is like, okay, cool. Like,
She's saving you money.
yeah, but also like, no, this is the fun stuff. Like, this is the stuff I'm excited for. Well, I'm excited for it all, but this is the stuff I'm really excited for is to like back to school shopping and you know what I mean? Like,
All right, tell the truth. Because you didn't have to buy Cecily new shoes or a new backpack, did you go get yourself some new shoes?
I didn't. I bought her those things still. I made
you
sure
did?
she-
Okay.
yeah, yes, I had to. But I also did look at the shoes.
Yeah.
See, to me, I think the reason why back to school shopping is so much fun for me and why it is fun for me to still, like, I go down the aisles still even when it's not back to school time, recalling that is because when I was a kid, I did not get a chance to, like, get, like, all the cool stuff. Mm-hmm. So now, as an adult, like, look at how many Sharpies I
know.
have. Look how many notebooks I have.
And you put all that stuff on the desk, I was laughing so hard because
Oh, it's the best.
It is the best.
I still have a pencil case. It's the best.
yeah, you do.
And I want to go on record to say that I think that Shannon is part communist because who gets the Trapper Keeper with the zipper? The Trapper Keeper with the Velcro is so much better.
Well, the zipper kept all my stuff in it.
I know that was too organized. The Velcro one was more fun just to make that noise. It sounded like a fart in class. What's going on? How you doing, Andrea?
Good morning. I was just listening to you talk about the where you used to have to wrap your books in the paper bags.
Yeah.
Which was great, by the way, because you got to write all over there. I heart whoever you hearted at the time. But
True. And
how
you
do
would write
that
your
this
name
year?
with your crush's last name on them.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Or the initials, so nobody knew who it was. But how do you do that now? Because like at Kroger, you get plastic bags. So, or if you get your wine bottles with the cheap little paper
Yeah.
bags.
The skinny ones.
What
Yeah.
do you do?
I know it's not as fun anymore. Yeah, I don't think they make. Well, now they don't make you. They don't give you books. They give you like pads sometimes, right? They give you like iPads or whatever it is.
Oh my gosh, yeah, not as fun.
Not as fun.
But it's been a long time.
It's funny because you ever sit there and have a
thanks, guys.
conversation with your kids and try to tell your kids about what you had, and the kids are like, "Oh, you had that." Like they don't get it at all. It doesn't seem as fun to them, you know.
Oh, like I told Lucy about the year that I begged my grandma because my mom said no to take me to Perry Drugs. I don't even know if you remember Perry
I
Drugs.
do, yeah.
To get neon crayons. That was like the new thing. I'm like, neon. I was the coolest girl in second grade because I had neon crayons, and she was like, okay, cool.
You were the kid that had the 55 version of the Crayola crayons, and you're like, 50. There's 55 crayons, and you realize that there's probably only like 20, but they kind of like
They just changed the name a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
Or do you remember those gel pens? Like not the regular pens, like the gel pens that
Yes.
rolled smoothly
And
across.
some
the
of them
paper.
had glitter in them.
Or a listener just brought up here, it says 586 says new gel and milky pens are the best.
What was Milky Pens?
Kind of the same.
Yeah.
Kind of the same thing.
See, my dad was a doctor, and I had the Viagra pens because my dad would bring home the pieces of like the pharmaceutical companies would come and I don't know, did your stepdad have that too?
We did. We had a lot of like medical, like you couldn't pronounce the name pens.
I've
Yeah.
got the sepsis pen around them.
My dad was an electrician, so all my pens and pencils were taped up in electrical tape. Every single one of them.